It off for the Pilots here in the bottom of the third inning.
Third baseman number 5, Hannah Darling.
Darling, a freshman out of Hebron, Kentucky, Connor High School. Comes in with a called strike. Darling at 137, no homers and 5 RBIs on the season. No balls and a strike to count here from Shelby Heron. That's we popped up on the infield. The third baseman Hewitt will make the catch, so there's one out here in the bottom half of the third inning. And that will bring up Elena McElfresh. McElfresh at 1 for 13 for the season. 1 for 13 on the season. Trying to improve on her .077 batting average, and there's a pitch on the corner for a called strike to the left-handed hitting pitcher, McElfresh, with Victoria Ebersol waiting to hit on deck. McElfresh, one of 4 seniors who are in their final week of the regular season. There's a check swing for called strike 2. So Heron ahead in the count now, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, bases empty, 1 out. Pilots looking for their first base runner, trailing 4-0 here in the bottom half of the third inning. Pitch on the way, it's outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Elena McElfresh. Shelby Heron on the mound. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be swing and a miss for strike 3. So that is the 3rd strikeout of the afternoon for Heron. 2 outs in the inning. That will bring up Victoria Ebersol, senior out of Niles, Michigan, attended Brandywine High School and Lake Michigan College. 259 on the season, no homers, 3 RBIs. Ebersol had a good doubleheader for herself on Saturday against Goshen, went 4 for 7. Pitch on the way from Heron, and that's in there for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike to count here on Victoria Ebersol. 4-0 in favor of Marian here in the bottom half of the third inning. Pitch on the way, outside for a ball, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here on Victoria Ebersol. Catherine Childers waiting to hit on deck. 4-0 in favor of Marian here in the bottom half of the third inning. Pitch on the way here from Heron, and it's a swing and a miss as Ebersol tried a little bit of a chop swing, so that's 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count now on Ebersol. One-two offering on the way from Heron, and that's swing and a miss for strike 3. Strikeout number 4 on the afternoon for Shelby Heron. Pilots go 1-2-3. We will head to the 4th. 4-0 Marian. You are listening and now watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Nothing but top-selling models at Gates of Granger, Michiana's newest, hottest pre-owned sales lot. If you can't tell the difference, why pay the difference? Only you and I know it's used, and I won't tell.
Gates knows. Now you know.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We head into the top half of the 4th inning.
The catcher, number 3,
Bethel trailing Marian by the count of 4-0. Elena McElfresh on in relief of Bethany Hogue has retired 5 of the 6 batters she has faced. Sadie Ball, who lined a homer last time, she lines a base hit into center fielder, so the catcher is now 2 for 2. That is the 7th hit of the afternoon for the Marian Knights, and that will bring up Jelly McKibben. Jelly McKibben drew a walk her last time. So a runner at first with nobody out here in the top half of the 4th inning. Marian leading 4-0. Pitch on the way. There's a bunt attempt, and it's going to be pulled back. It's still a called strike to McKibben. McKibben, the junior out of Wapahani High School. That's going to be little looper, and Orphanitis will not be able to pick it up, and it'll go into center field for a base hit. It looked like Orphanitis might be able to pick it up and turn it into a double play, but the ball skipped over and into center field. So back-to-back singles here to start the 4th inning, and that'll bring up Lainey Horan. Horan was called out for stepping on. She got a base hit, but she was called out for stepping on home plate her last time. And there's a bunt fouled back for 0-1. So runners at first and second now with nobody out here in the 4th. Marian owning a 4-0 lead. Knights got 2 in the first and 2 in the second. Pilots still looking for their first base runner of the afternoon. Or in the sophomore, there's a bunt picked up by Darling, and she's going to kick it foul, and that's going to be a sacrifice in an E5, and the bases are now loaded. So the bases are loaded with nobody out here in the top half of the 4th inning. So ball goes to 3rd. McKibben is at second, and Horan is safe at first, and back to the top of the order with Olivia Hoffman. So the Pilots with their first miscue of the afternoon, and the Knights now with the bases loaded and nobody out, already leading 4-0 with a chance to break this one wide open. And Hoffman, 2 for 2 on the afternoon, singled and scored in the first and then singled in the second.
Back to the top of the order for the Knights. Now batting right fielder number 15, Olivia Hoffman.
So the bases are loaded with nobody out here in the 4th inning. And there's a pitch in there for a called strike from Elena McElfresh. Bases loaded, nobody out here in the 4th. McElfresh's pitch on the way. That's we popped up on the infield. Batter will be out on the infield fly as Orphanitis makes the catch for the first out. So 1 out here in the top half of the 4th inning, and that'll bring up Cassidy Cadle.
Number 12, Cassidy Cadle.
Cadle singled and scored in the first and then hit into a fielder's choice in the second. So 1 out now and the base is loaded. And that's going to be grounded back to the mound. McElfresh will come home for 1. There's the relay throw to first, will be in time. The 1-2-3 double play, and the Pilots get out of it. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 2 left. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Marian 4, Bethel nothing. You are listening and watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Nice job of pitching there by Elena McElfresh as the Knights had the bases loaded and nobody out, but a infield pop-up and then a 1-2-3 double play gets them out of the inning. So it is 4-0 Marian here as we head into the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Catherine Childers, Mari Younger, and Hunter Brummett to face Shelby Heron, who has struck out 4 of the first 9 batters she's faced. Pilots looking for their first base runner of the afternoon here against Marian, the number 2 team in the latest NAIA poll. Marian comes in with a record of 36-2, 27-1. Their lone conference loss coming to Huntington earlier this year. The Knights have won 10 in a row. Earlier this season, they were 8-0 and 8-1 winners over Bethel. As the Pilots have a little bit of momentum going as the Elena McElfresh put up a couple of zeros in the last 2 innings. So Catherine Childers, who grounded to short her first time. Pilots trying to get their first base runner of the afternoon. Childers entered action with .203 batting average, 6 RBIs. And there's a pitch low for a ball. No balls and a strike here to Catherine Childers, the sophomore out of Huntertown, Indiana, attended Lakewood Park Christian High School. Pitch on the way from Heron. That's going to be lined. It's going to be foul, as the left fielder Garrigus made an effort but was unable to come up with it, so it's a ball and a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here on Catherine Childers. Mari Younger and Hunter Brummett to follow. Marian got 2 in the first and 2 in the second. That's where we stand here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-0 Marian. Here, game 1 of our doubleheader here from Gardner Field. Heron's pitch on the way. That's going to be chopped right to the shortstop. McKibben will pick it up and throw across the diamond in time. So Childers grounds out to the shortstop for the 2nd time this afternoon. They'll bring up Mari Younger. Younger was a strikeout victim her first time.
Up next for your Bethel College Pilots, right fielder number 9, Mari Younger.
Younger, the freshman out of Stevensville, Michigan, attended Lakeshore High School, left-handed hitter. Pitch low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count here on Mari Younger with Hunter Brummett to follow. 4-0 in favor of Marian. 1-0 offering on the way, and that's going to be chopped to the 3rd baseman. Picking it up will be Hewitt across the diamond. Will be safe, so the Pilots have a base hit, have their first base runner on the infield single by Mari Younger. So the Pilots have a base runner for Hunter Brummett to come to the plate now. Brummett, the junior out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, attended Homestead High School. So 1 out, 1 on for the Pilots.
Now back for BC, number 27, Hunter Brummett.
Pilots, as we mentioned, now with their first time they've had someone on. Mari Younger with the infield hit. And there's a pitch in there for a called strike to Hunter Brummett. Brummett, one of 2 Bethel players hitting over 300. Brummett was at 304 coming in with a homer and 12 RBIs. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. So Heron head in the count now 0-2, the sophomore out of Franklin Central High School. 0-2 offering on the way, and that's going to be called strike 3 on the corner. So Brummett is called out on strike, 2nd out of the inning, 5th strikeout of the afternoon for Heron. And that'll bring up Karis Brewer. Brewer grounded out to the 2nd baseman, Cagle, her last time. So 2 outs and a runner at first for Bethel. And that's pitch high for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count here on Karis Brewer. We're in the bottom half of the 4th inning. 4-0 in favor of Marian. Next pitch on the way, outside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes to count here on Karis Brewer. Hannah Haynes hoping to get a chance to swing the bat here in the 4th inning. Heron's 2-0 offering on the way. That's going to be popped up, first base side. There to make the catch will be Reeder to retire the side. So, but the Pilots get a base runner here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We will head to the 5th. Marian leads Bethel 4-0. You are listening and watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
Nothing but top-selling models at Gates of Granger, Michiana's newest, hottest pre-owned sales lot. If you can't tell the difference, why pay the difference? Only you and I know it's used, and I won't tell.
Gates knows. Now you know.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We head into the top half of the fifth inning. Marian leading Bethel by the count of 4-0. Marian got 2 in the first and 2 in the second. Pilots just picked up their first base runner in the bottom half of the fourth inning, and they'll bring up Mackenzie Reeder. Reeder had a sacrifice fly in the first and then flew out to Marilyn Showalter. Actually, she's flown out to Marilyn Showalter both times. The first one was a sacrifice fly in the first, and the second one ended the second inning. To Reeder, the senior out of Plainfield, Indiana, Plainfield High School, 357, 1 homer and now 29 RBIs for the season. 2 balls, no strikes to count here. It'll be Reeder, Hoyt, and Hewitt to face Elena McElfresh, who has done a great job since coming on in relief of Bethany Hogan the second inning. She's allowed 3 hits with 1 walk. 3 hits to this point, no walks. 2-1 the count now here on Mackenzie Reeder. Reeder, that's going to be lined to center field. That ball's going to drop in there for a base hit in front of Marilyn Showalter. So Reeder all 3 times has went to center field. This time she comes up with a base hit. That'll bring up Izzy Hoyt. Hoyt had a base hit or had an RBI single in the first and then flew out to Showalter in the third. So for the fourth time in 5 innings, the Knights have the leadoff runner on. As the first pitch to Hoyt is a called strike. Hoyt, the sophomore out of New Palestine, Indiana. That's going to be lifted into center. Drifting back on it is Showalter. She will make the catch just short of the warning track. And back to first base is Reeder, so there's 1 out here in the 5th inning. That is the 5th putout of the afternoon already for Marilyn Showalter. Now bring up Katie Hewitt. Hewitt 0 for 2. She's flown out to left and popped up to short. 1 out, 1 on in the 5th. 4-0 in favor of Marian. As the pitch is a little bit low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count here on Katie Hewitt. Marian got 2 in the first and 2 in the second. And that's been it so far. Marian high for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. 4 runs, 9 hits for Marian. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error so far for Bethel here in the 5th inning. Pitch on the way. That's going to be ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. The count here. Yes, there's some activity going over in the Bethel bullpen. Looks to be Maddie Morgan warming up as there's a called strike, 3-1. Reeder the runner at first with 1 out here in the top half of the 5th inning. Marian leads Bethel 4-0. Pitch on the way from McElfresh, fouled back, and the count goes full, 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on here in the 5th. Bethel will be in action again tomorrow, doubleheader at Taylor. Actually, it'll be a triple header because they will play a reserve game at 1 p.m. And that's high for ball 4, so that is the second walk issued to Marian. First walk issued by McElfresh. So Reeder will go to second, and that'll bring up
next for the
Darian
left fielder, number 18,
Garrigus.
Darian Garrigus.
Gerges, who homered her first time and then grounded out to third. So runners at first and second with one out here in the fifth. Knights trying to build upon their 4-0 lead. McElfresh's pitch is outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Darling playing in a little bit on the dirt at third. And there's called strike 1-1. Haynes just about even with the bag at first. Orphanitis at short, cheating a little bit over as Ebersol playing right ever there. Pitch on the way, popped up into left field, coming on to make the, nope, it's going to be Orphanitis that will call everyone off to make the catch in short left field. So that's 2 outs now. So 2 outs and 2 on, and that'll bring up
Now
Sadie
back
Baugh.
to Marian University, the catcher, number 3, Sadie Baugh.
Baugh is 2 for 2. She homered to center in the second and then singled in the fourth. So 2 outs, 2 on here for Marian here in the 5th inning. Pitch outside for a ball. Elena McElfresh trying to avoid any further damage. She came in the 2nd inning. Didn't allow anything. That's going to be popped up into right field. Drifting back will be Childers, and she will make the catch to retire the side. In the top half of the 5th inning for the Marian Knights, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Marian 4, Bethel nothing. And we will take this opportunity to let you know that Beef O'Brady's in Granger now features Build Your Own Burger Mondays. Enjoy a fresh Angus burger with lettuce, tomato, pickles, onions, and mayo, plus fries for just $5.99. Beef's also has award-winning wings, salads, and wraps. Located at State Road 23 and Bittersweet Road, they also have dine-in and carry-out service available and are open for lunch at 11 a.m. 7 days a week. For more information, call 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's, good food, good sports. Beef's is also the home of the Coach's Box that can be heard every Thursday on one of our affiliated stations, WGCS 91.1 FM out of Goshen from 6 to 7 p.m. Our special guest this coming Thursday will be former Penn football coach Chris Giesman, former Elkhart Memorial, South Bend St. Joe, South Bend Riley football coach Phil Teagard, and former Washington State, Mishawaka, number of other football coach Bill Doba. So that's from 6 to 7 p.m. live with Paul Condry and myself, Matt Copsey, live from Beef O'Brady's in Granger. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 4-0 in favor of Marian. Due up for the Pilots here, it'll be Hannah Haynes, Mackenzie Orphanitis, and Hannah Darling to face Shelby Heron, who has allowed just 1 base runner, that being a base hit by Mari Younger in the 4th inning. To this point, Heron has fanned 5 in the ball game. Haynes was a strikeout victim her first time. 4-0 Marian. Knights got 2 in the first and 2 in the second.
First baseman number 22.
And a nice job
Hannah
so
Haynes.
far the last 3 2/3 innings by Elena McElfresh to keep the Knights off the board. And there's a swing and a miss by Haynes. No balls and a strike to Haynes. Hannah Haynes, the freshman out of Milford, Indiana, attended Wawasee High School. Pitch on the way, popped up first base side, over to give it a look will be Reeder, but it'll be out of play. So it's 0-2, no balls, 2 strikes to count here. Nobody on, nobody out. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Marian with a 4-0 lead over Bethel. Marian, the number 2 team in the nation in the latest NAIA poll. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be called strike 3. So Haynes is caught looking for the 2nd time this afternoon. 6 strikeout for Heron, and that'll bring up Mackenzie Orphanitis. Orphanitis grounded out to her counterpart, McKibben, at shortstop, her first time. Pilots with just one base runner so far through 4 1/3 innings against Shelby Heron. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Mari Younger had a infield single with 1 out in the 4th inning, and that's been it for Bethel. That's been their only base runner to this point this afternoon against Shelby Heron, and that's going to be lifted. Tough play for the shortstop, but she will make a basket catch, is Jelly McKibben, and there are quickly 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and that will bring up Hannah Darling. Darling popped up to the third baseman Hewitt her last time. 4-0 Marian here in the
Next at bat, for BC
bottom of the
number
5th
5,
inning.
Hannah Darling.
Heron's pitch on the way. Inside for a ball. Heron, as we mentioned, has struck out 6, walked no one, allowed only 1 base runner, that being a infield single by Mari Younger in the 4th inning. 1-0 pitch to Darling. That's going to be on the corner for a called strike. 1-1, 1 ball, 1 strike to count here. Elena McElfresh waiting to hit on deck. 4-0 Marian here in the bottom of the 5th inning, game 1 of our doubleheader. That's a little fisted into, nice catch by the shortstop. McKibben takes a base hit away from Hannah Darling. In the bottom half of the 5th inning for the Pilots, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We will head to the 6th. Marian leads Bethel 4-0. You're listening and watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
It's pouring rain, it's real dark outside. Your heart starts beating really, really fast. You've never done anything so hard in your life. This is boot camp, this is the real thing now. It's such extreme pain, you don't understand how you can finish. I began to feel that there was no way I was ever gonna have my title, U.S. Marine. It takes special inner strength, courage, and desire to do this. I was just thinking, I'm so close, I'm so close. And when I finished, I was like, I'm done, I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admired so much comes up to me, straight in front of me, put her arm on my shoulder and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We go into the top half of the 6th inning. Marian leading 4-0. It'll be Jelly McKibben, Lainey Horan, and Olivia Hoffman here against Elena McElfresh. And that's we popped up into right field. Drifting over it'll be over the head of Childers. Rounding first and on her way to second with a double is Jelly McKibben. So the Knights have the leadoff runner on here in the top half of the 6th inning.
Now batting for the
and that'll bring up
Knights,
Lanny
center fielder
Horan.
Number 26, Lainey Horan.
Horan was called out for stepping on the plate her first time and then was safe on an error in the 4th inning. So there's a pitch low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes to count here on Horan. McKibben, the runner at second, the 10th hit of the afternoon for the Knights here in the opener. And that's a chopped in front of the plate. McElfresh will step and throw to first, and it will be, the runner will be safe as the throw goes into the dirt. So that'll be an error. Second error of the afternoon.
For Marian University.
Over
now
to third
batting
goes
right
McKibben.
fielder, number 15, Olivia Hoffman.
So Olivia Hoffman will come to the plate now. Hoffman is 2 for 3 with a run scored. So the Knights in the 4th inning had the bases loaded and nobody out, didn't score, and there's going to be a ground ball Orphanitis, and she will have no play. A run will score. That'll be Hoffman's 3rd hit of the afternoon. Coming in to score is McKibben to make it 5-0. Safe at second is Horan.
Baseman, number 12, Cassidy Cottle.
And Cassidy Cadle will come to the plate now. There's a pitch. It's going to be caught out there by the right fielder, by Childers, so that will be one out. Staying at second is Horan, so there's one out in
Now
the
batting,
inning.
number 5, Mackenzie Reeder.
I'll bring up Mackenzie Reeder. She had a base hit her first time, so one out. Here in the fifth inning, that's going to be popped up third base side out of play. Five to nothing in favor of Marian here in the top half of the sixth inning. Lined into center field for a base hit. Rounding third and coming in to try to score will be Horn. The play will be offline and everybody will move up a base on the throwing error. So runners are at second and third. It's now 6-0. So give Reeder her second straight hit, or
Up
second
next for the
RBI of the ball game.
Designated player number 20 is E. Hoyt.
So it's now 6-0, and the Knights on the verge of possibly making this a 8-run rule, and that one is driven into center field. Drifting back on it will be the center fielder. The center fielder Showalter will make the catch, but coming in to score will be Hoffman to make it 7-0. That'll be the second out of the inning. Sacrifice fly, second RBI for Izzy Hoyt. So a runner now at third base with 2 outs here. Knights have played at 3 here. And I'll bring up Katie Hewitt. Hewitt 0 for 2. She drew a walker last time. 1 ball, no strikes. 3 runs in for the Knights here in the top half of the sixth inning. They lead at 7-0. And that one's popped up left field. Coming in will be the left fielder Younger to make the catch to retire the side. But the Knights pick up 3 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. We head to the bottom of the sixth inning. Marian leads Bethel 7-0. You are listening and watching to Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We head into the bottom half of the sixth inning, as we've got some changes for the Marian Knights. Coming on to pitch now for Marian will be Courtney Best. Best is a junior out of Lafayette, Indiana, attended Benton Central High School. Best on the season is 0-0 with a 2.25 ERA. This will be her 11th appearance. She has 1 save. In 9 1/3 innings, she's allowed 9 hits, 3 runs, 3 of them earned, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .257 against Best. So you can close the book on Shelby Heron. She goes 5 innings, allows no runs on 1 hit. She struck out 6, walked no one.
Elena McElfresh.
And Elena McElfresh will be the first person here to face Courtney Best here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. Marian with a 7-0 lead. Knights got 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and then they just broke it open with 3 runs here in the top half of the sixth inning. And the first pitch from Best is outside for a ball to McElfresh. That's going to be a swing and a miss by McElfresh. So it's 1-1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Victoria Ebersaw and Catherine Childers to follow here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. And there's ball 2. 2 balls and a strike to count here on the left-handed hitting and throwing Elena McElfresh from Chesterton by way of Ancilla College. So it's 3 balls and a strike. So the Pilots trying to get their second base run of the afternoon. Mari Younger had an infield single in the 4th, and that's been it. And there's called strike 2. McElfresh was a strikeout victim her first time. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count here on McElfresh. And that's going to be low for ball 4, so the Pilots have a base runner here in the bottom half of the 6th inning, and that'll bring up Victoria Ebersol.
Up next for BC, number
Ebersol,
21, second baseman.
she was a
Victoria
strikeout victim her first
Ebersol.
time. So the Pilots, for the first time this afternoon, have the leadoff runner on. It's just their second base runner of the ball game, and there's ball 1 outside. Seven nothing in favor of Marian. And there's a chopper. That's going to be a tough play. Nobody covering the bag. That's going to be an infield single. As the first baseman Reeder came in, but nobody was covering, so the Pilots have runners at first and second now with nobody out here.
Back to the top for your Bethel College Pilots, now batting left
And
fielder
now bring
number
up
3,
Catherine Childers.
Catherine Childers.
Childers is grounded out twice to the shortstop, McKibben. And that's ball 1. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. 1-1 the count here on Childers. 7-0 in favor of Marian here in the bottom of the 6th inning, but the Pilots with runners at first and second and nobody out, and that's going to be low for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to count here. McElfresh at second, Ebersol at first, and that's going to be called on the corner for strike 2, so it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count here on Catherine Childers. Mari Younger waiting to hit on deck, and there's a chop in front of the plate. It'll be foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, nobody out here in the 6th. Childers, pitch on the way. That's going to be grounded to the second baseman. They'll go to the short way for the first out, so runners are at second and third now. So Childers gets the job done getting the runners over. So there's 1 out and runners at second and third now for Mari Younger. Younger was a strikeout victim her first time, and they got Bethel's, to that point, their first
Number
hit
9,
in the
Mari
4th
Younger.
inning. So Younger, the freshman out of Stevensville, Michigan, and that's going to be low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. The count here on Mari Younger. Runners at second and third. There's going to be a ground ball to short. They're going to come home for the play, and she will be out. So the forced play will go 6-2 as McKibben throws her out. So McElfresh is out trying to score for the second out of the inning. Moving over to third is Ebersol. Younger is safe on the fielder's choice, so there's 2 outs and runners at first and third now for Hunter Brummett.
For BC, the designated player, number 27, Hunter Brummett.
Brummett 0 for 2. She's flown out to right and was called out on strikes. Both of those were against Shelby Herron. So there's a pitch in the dirt, and that will be a wild pitch that will allow Younger to go to second. So runners at second and third now with 2 outs here in the 6th inning, as the umpire is going to give the catcher ball a chance to take a breath as that ball bounced in and hit her in the mask. That allowed Younger to make it to second. So second and third, 2 outs. And that's going to be grounded into left field for a base hit. Pilots will get 1 run, so it's 7-1 is Ebersol. And the ball gets away, and the runner's second run will come in, so that's going to be a base hit, 1 RBI. That's going to be an error, allowing both Ebersol to score and the Brummett to make it to second. So it's a 7-2 ball game now. So the Pilots
Up next for BC, the catcher, number 11, Karis Brewer.
have gotten 2 of the 3 runs back that they gave up. They'll bring up Karis Brewer. Brewer 0 for 2. She's grounded to first and popped up to first. So the Pilots get a run, 2 runs here. As of this point, just 1 of them is earned, and there's a swing and a miss, and count now 0-2 on Brewer. 7-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch on the way. Missed a little bit outside for a ball. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Karis Brewer. Hunter Brummett, the runner at second. She drove in the 1 run and then made it to second as a result of a fielding error. Swing and a miss for strike 3, and that retires the side. But the Pilots pick up 2 runs on 2 hits. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. We head to the 7th inning. Marian leads Bethel 7-2. You're listening and watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We head into the top of the 7th inning with Marian leading Bethel by the count of 7-2. I think we're going to have some changes here for the Knights here in the 7th inning. Looks like Cassie Perry will lead off the inning here.
Up
Place
to bat,
of Darian
from Marian University, number
Garrigus.
24, Cassie Perry.
So Cassie Perry, a senior out of Plainfield, Indiana, Plainfield High School. Perry coming into action today was Perry was on the season. This might be her first at bat of the season. Cassie Perry, we're looking here on the stat sheet. It is her first batting of the season, and it's ball 1. We will have another pinch hitter coming up for the Knights. It will be Sarah Cush. The freshman out of Martinsville, Indiana, will bat for Ball. So 2-0 the count here on Perry. And that's going to be low for ball 3. No ball, 3 balls, no strikes to count here, and that's going to be popped up behind the plate. Brewer, the catcher, will not have a play, as Brewer and Haynes both came over and were unable to come, so it's 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike to count here on Cassie Perry. Pitch on the way, fouled back, so it's 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count here. We're in the top half of the 7th inning. Marian leads Bethel by the count of 7-2. Knights got 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and 3 in the 6th. Bethel with both of their runs in the bottom half of the 6th inning, and that's going to be popped up, and Orphanitis, the shortstop, will make the catch for the first out here of the top of the 7th inning, and that will bring up Sarah Cush.
Now batting for the Knights, number 11, Sarah Cush.
Cush, as we mentioned earlier, is a freshman out of Martinsville, Indiana. She comes into action today with a .429 batting average, no homers and 2 RBIs, appearing in her 11th game. 1-0 the count, and that's going to be grounded to third. Darling hits in front of her, still has time, picks it up and throws her out for the second out here in the 7th inning. So Cush is out 5-3. And that will bring up Jelly McKibben, the shortstop. McKibben has had quite a productive day for herself. McKibben is 2 for 2 with a run scored, and she's also made some nice plays in the field for the Knights. And there's a pitch on the corner for a ball. Elena McElfresh has allowed 3 runs, just 2 of them earned. That's when he popped up into center. Showalter will not be able to make the catch as she comes in and the ball drops in front of her. So that'll be the 3rd hit of the afternoon for McKibben. And that'll bring up Lanny Horan.
Now at bat, center fielder number 26, Laney Horan.
Horan is 0 for 3, 0 for 2 with a run scored, has reached twice. Runner going, that's going to be a ground ball. Darling picks it up, throw across the diamond is in time to retire the side. In the top half of the 7th inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Pilots trail this one 7-2. You're listening and watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
The entire world watched. They watched each step down the rungs of that small ladder, one after another, and waited with great anticipation for that last step.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
At that moment, humanity saw the impossible become the possible, and today the sky is not the limit. Achievement. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We head into the bottom half of the 7th inning where Bethel trails Marian by the count of 7-2. Due up for the Pilots in the bottom half of the 7th inning. The scheduled hitters are Hannah Haynes, Mackenzie Orphanitis, and Hannah Darling against Courtney Best, who will have her 2nd inning of relief here. Pilots trail 7-2 here. Marian got 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, and 3 in the 6th. Pilots with their 2 runs coming in the 6th inning.
So first baseman, number 22, Hannah Haynes.
Hannah Haynes has been called out on strikes, both of her plate appearances this afternoon. And that's going to be low for a ball. Both of those were against the starter, Shelby Heron, who is in line to pick up her 11th victory of the year. Pitch on the way, 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes to count here on Hannah Haynes. Kenzie Orphanitis waiting to hit on deck, and that's going to be lined into left field, and that will drop in for a base hit. So the Pilots have their 4th hit of the afternoon, and that'll bring up Mackenzie Orphanitis. Orphanitis is grounded to short and popped
now
to short.
Now batting for BC, number 7, Mackenzie Orphanitis.
Pitch on the way from Best, and that's going to be on the corner for a called strike, 0-1. Scott Reese over in the coaching box at third base for the Pilots. Pitch on the way, grounded, fouled back this way, so Best quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. We will take probably about a 15-minute, 20-minute break in between games, and we will come back and get you for Game 2 of our doubleheader. Once this game is complete, we'll take a break. We'll give you the totals, and then we will get you set up for Game 2. And that's going to be chopped in front of the plate. That's going to be a tough play for the catcher. She will throw her out. That'll be 2-3 on the putout. Orphanitis is out. Safe at second is Haynes. That'll bring up Hannah Darling. Darling is popped to third and lined to short. So a runner at second now with one out.
Pilot's third baseman number 5, Hannah Darling.
Runner at second base now with one out here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Pilots. Pitch on the way, low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Elena McElfresh hoping to get a chance to swing the bat here again, and that's low for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Hannah Haynes, the runner at second, with one out here in the bottom of the 7th inning for the Pilots. Pitch on the way, that's going to be grounded to third. Picking it up will be Hewitt. Across the diamond is in time. So the Pilots are down to their final out now here in this first ball game. Staying at second is Haynes, and McElfresh will come to the plate.
Number 10, Elena McElfresh.
Ball 1, here the count to Elena McElfresh. McElfresh has struck out and walked so far this afternoon. That's low for a ball, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes to count here on Elena McElfresh. And there's a pitch on the corner for a called strike, 2-1. Hannah Haynes, the runner at second with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th for the Pilots. Pitch on the way, and there's called strike 2, so the Pilots down to their final strike here in the opener. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at first. Pitch on the way. Little bleeder, that ball will go foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Victoria Ebersol waiting to hit on deck. Two balls, 2 strikes, and a runner at second for the Pilots here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pitch on the way, and that's outside for ball 3. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hannah Haynes will be off on the 3-2 pitch, so a base hit could conceivably give the Pilots another run. And that's going to be popped up on the infield. That ball's going to drop in for a base hit. Here comes Haynes. Here comes the play at the plate, and she will score. And into second will be McElfresh with a base hit. So give McElfresh an RBI single at second on the throw. It's a 7-3 ball game now.
Next
So the
up,
Pilots
number 21,
have come back now to get another run here, and they have another runner in scoring position for Victoria Ebersol. Ebersol singled and scored her last time, and there's low for ball 1. So it's 7-3 now here with 2 outs and a runner at second in the bottom of the 7th. There's a chop foul, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count here on Victoria Ebersol. 7-3 Marian. Pitchers of record here is on the positive side is Shelby Heron and Bethany Hogue on the bottom side. That's going to be a ground ball to second. Cadle will pick it up and throw it out to retire the side. For the Pilots in the bottom half of the 7th inning, they'll pick up a run on 2 hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left. Final in game 1, it was Marian 7, Bethel 3. We'll be back to recap it after this timeout. You're listening and watching to Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
There's always a moment of truth where I say, look, it's either put up or shut up. And it was time to put up. I had crossed that thin line. It was 100+ degrees. We were hot. We were on fire. We were yelling our hearts out. You could feel the intensity rising. even in our tiredness, even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continue to push. I told myself, you can suck up the pain for another mile and a half, and you will be a Marine. Not many people believe that I could do it. I don't know where I got the energy from. I don't know where the pain went to. But all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field, where the Marian Knights have improved to 37-2 and 28-1 in the Crossroads leagues, with a 7-3 victory over Bethel. 7 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for the Knights. They left 7 runners on base for the Pilots, who now fall to 4-33 and 3-26 in conference play. 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors. The Pilots left 3 runners on base. Winning pitcher was Shelby Heron. She went the first 5 innings. She improves to 11-0, and the loser was Bethany Hogue. Hogue went an inning and a third, and her record drops to 2-13. Time of the ball game was 1 hour and 28 minutes. Marian got in the first right away in the first inning. Mackenzie Reeder with a sacrifice fly, scoring Olivia Hoffman, and then a RBI single by Izzy Hoyt brought home Cassidy Cadle to make it 2-0. The Knights made it 4-0 in the second inning on back-to-back homers by Darian Garrigus and Sadie Baugh. They then picked up 3 more runs in the 6th inning. RBI singles by Olivia Hoffman and Mackenzie Reeder, and a sacrifice fly off the bat of Izzy Hoyt. The Pilots got 2 runs in the 6th inning on an RBI single by Hunter Brummett, and then an error allowed the second run to score, allowed Mari Younger to score. Victoria Ebersol accounted for the first run, and then the Pilots picked up their final run in the 7th inning on Elena McElfresh's RBI single, scoring Hannah Haynes. So once again, 7 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. The Knights left 7 runners on base. 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors. Pilots left 3 runners on base. Winning pitcher was Shelby Heron, and the loser was Bethany Hogue. So that's going to do it for our coverage of Bethel softball here for Game 1. We're going to take about a 15 to 20 minute break while the 2 teams get the work on the field and get rested up for Game 2. So once again, your final in Game 1, Marian 7 and Bethel 3. So my name is Matt Copsey saying thanks a lot for joining us, and tune back in about 15 minutes. Hey Eddie, this is Matt with Regional Radio RRSN. I'm calling to let you know the first softball game between Bethel and Marian is done. Okay, thanks a lot. You too, bye-bye.
There's always a moment of truth where I say, look, it's either put up or shut up. And it was time to put up. I had crossed that thin line. It was 100+ degrees. We were hot. We were on fire. We were yelling our hearts out. You could feel the intensity rising. Even in our tiredness, even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I told myself, you can suck up the pain for another 1.5 miles, and you will be a Marine. Not many people believe that I could do it. I don't know where I got the energy from. I don't know where the pain went to. But all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field, where the Bethel College Pilots and the Marian Knights are just moments away from the start of the second game here. Marian was a winner 7-3 in game 1, 7 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. The Knights left 7 runners on base, 3 runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for the Pilots. The Pilots left 3 runners on base. The winning pitcher was Shelby Heron. She improved 11-0, and the losing pitcher for the Bethel Pilots was Bethany Hogue, and Bethany Hogue dropped to 2-13 on the season. My name is Matt Copsey, bringing you the play-by-play description of this afternoon's second game of our doubleheader, as the Pilots, with a record now of 4-33, 3-26 in conference play, and Marian, the number 2 team in the NAIA poll, with a record of 37-2 and 28-1. We're going to take a look at our starting lineups for our second game. First, for the Marian Knights, leading off and playing in right field, it'll be Olivia Hoffman. Maddie Bombi will bat second and play at second base. The designated player, the third place hitter, will be Mackenzie Reeder. Izzy Hoyt will bat fourth and play third base. Darian Garrigus will bat fifth and play left field. Sam Pash will bat sixth and do the catching. Sydney Gherkin will bat seventh and play at shortstop. Mary Crumlin will bat eighth and play first base. And Lanny Horan will bat ninth and play in center field. The pitching and the flex player for Marian in the second game will be Grace Lumpkin. Once again, that's Hoffman in right, Bombi at second, Reeder, the designated player, Hoyt at third, Garrigus in left, Pash catching, Gherkin at short, Crumlin at first, Horan in right, and Lumpkin on the mound. For the Bethel Pilots, leading off and playing in right field, it'll be Catherine Childers. Mari Younger will bat second and play in left field. Hunter Brummett will be the designated player and bat third. Hannah Haynes will bat fourth and play first base. Hannah Darling will bat fifth and play third base. Victoria Ebersol will play second base and bat in the sixth spot. Karis Brewer will do the catching and bat seventh. Mackenzie Orphanitis will bat eighth and play shortstop. Batting ninth and doing the pitching will be Rachel Najek, and the flex player in center field will be Marilyn Showalter. Once again, that's Childers in right, Younger in left, Brummett, the designated player, Haynes at first, Darling at third, Ebersol at second, Brewer catching, Orphanitis at short, Najek on the mound, and Showalter in center field. Rachel Najek, the senior out of South Bend Clay High School. She comes in with a record of 0-12 and a 5.30 ERA. In 70 innings pitched, she's allowed 88 hits, 66 runs, 53 of them earned, 30 walks, 33 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .297 against Rachel Najek. The Pilots, as we mentioned, were a 7-3 loser in game 1. The Marian Knights got 2 runs in the first inning. They got 2 runs in the second, and then they got 3 runs in the sixth. Marian got 2 in the sixth and 1 in the seventh. Marian improved to 37-2, 28-1 in the Crossroads leagues, while Bethel is now 4-33 and 3-26. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll get you set up for the start of our second game between Bethel and Marian. You're listening and watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
Mothers know minivans. Gates knows minivans. More vans, more colors, more models and brands. Gates, more locations in Mishawaka, more savings.
Gates knows. Now you know.
It's pouring rain. It's real dark outside. Your heart starts beating really, really fast. You've never done anything so hard in your life. This is boot camp. This is the real thing now. It's such extreme pain, you don't understand how you can finish. I began to feel that there was no way I was ever going to have my title, U.S. Marine. It takes special inner strength, courage, and desire to do this. I was just thinking, I'm so close, I'm so close. And when I finished, I was like, I'm done, I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admire so much comes up to me straight in front of me, put her arm on my shoulder and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field, where we are just about ready for the start of our second game between Bethel and Marian. Pilots decked out in the white jerseys with the royal blue numbers, white pants with the blue stripes, blue socks, blue shoes. The Marian Knights decked out in the gray uniforms with the navy numbers trimmed in yellow, blue socks, white and blue shoes. Scott Reese in his second year here at Bethel College. And for the Marian Knights, Scott Fleming in his 15th season. We're going to take a look at the defensive setup for the Pilots. It will be Mari Younger at left field, Marilyn Showalter in center, and Catherine Childers in right. Hannah Darling is at third, Mackenzie Orphanitis is at short, Victoria Ebersol is at second, and Hannah Haynes is at first. And the battery, as we mentioned, is Karis Brewer behind the plate and Rachel Najek on the mound for the Pilots. Leading it off for the Marian Knights, it will be Olivia Hoffman. Hoffman was 3 for 4 in the first game with 2 runs scored and an RBI. Hoffman is a sophomore out of Indianapolis, Indiana, attended Roncalli High School. It will be Hoffman, Bombi, and Reeder here to face Rachel Najek, the senior out of South Bend Clay. After today, the Pilots will be on the road tomorrow for a doubleheader at Taylor, starting at 3 p.m., but preceding that, they will have a reserves game at 1 p.m., and then the Pilots will be home for their final games here at Gardner Field on Friday against number 11 Indiana Wesleyan at 3 p.m. first pitch. You can join me, Matt Copsey, around 2:45 for the pregame show for a doubleheader, and then Saturday the Pilots will close out the regular season with a doubleheader at St. Francis.
The right fielder, number 15, Olivia Hoffman.
So Olivia Hoffman steps into the box here as we are ready to go at 5:08 Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time, and the first pitch from Najek is high for a ball. So ball 1 here. Marian was a 7-3 winner in game 1. Pitch on the way outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Olivia Hoffman. Left-handed hitter, Najak's pitch. And there's in for a called strike. 3 balls and a strike. Our umpires are Brett Damaski and Kevin Hahn. And that's low for a ball, so it's 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike, the count now on Olivia Hoffman. Marian in search of their 12th straight victory. They are number 2 in the nation. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be line foul over by Scott Fleming in the coaching box over at third base. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bethel College baseball team will be in action this coming Friday against this same Marian Ball Club in a single 9-inning game on Friday and a doubleheader Saturday. And there's ball 4. So the Knights, who got 2 runs right away in the first inning, have a base runner right away here.
Second baseman, number 31, Maddie Bombay.
Maddie Bombay, a freshman out of Mooresville, Indiana, playing second base in this ball game. And there's a called strike. Bombay at .368 on the season, 1 homer and 8 RBIs, left-handed hitter. Pitch on the way, high, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike the count here on Bombay. Mackenzie Reeder waiting to hit on deck. Hoffman, the runner at first, not being held on. Here comes the pitch. That's going to be fouled this way. So the count now is 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Count here to Bombay from Rachel Najak, the senior out of South Bend Clay. And there's a pitch outside for a ball, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first with 1 out. Nobody out, excuse me, here in the top half of the first inning of our second game. And that's going to be lined into center field for a base hit. Stopping at second will be Hoffman. And just like in the first game, the Knights have the first 2 runners on. Those first 2 runners scored.
For the Knights.
I'll bring up Mackenzie Reeder.
Mackenzie Reeder.
Reeder, who was the first baseman in the first game, is the designated player in this game. She was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. There's a bunt in front of the plate. It's going to go foul. 0-1. Reeder. Reeder, a senior out of Plainfield, Indiana. Pitch on the way. That's be popped up third base side out of play. So Najak quickly ahead in the count here, 0-2, as some cloud cover has descended upon Gardner Field. The sun was out earlier. Now we have some sun and clouds. There is a chance for some rain later, but we should be in good shape to get this game in. And there's a pitch outside for a ball, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here on Mackenzie Reeder, with Izzy Hoyt, the third baseman who was the designated player in the first game, waiting to hit on deck. Pitch on the way, outside for a ball, as the catcher Brewer looked down towards second. Two balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second, nobody out here in the top half of the first inning. That's going to be grounded to third. Darling will step on the bag for the force play. 5 unassisted for the first out of the inning. Reeder is safe on the fielder's choice. Bombay goes to second. So now there's runners at first and second with 1 out here in the first inning for Izzy Hoyt.
Now batting for Marian,
the sophomore
number 20, Izzy
desert
Hoyt.
third baseman out of New Palestine, Indiana, as way of Purdue. And that's going to be into right field. Over his Childers, she will make the catch. Tagging and going to second and third will be the 2 runners. So Bombay is now at third with 2 outs. And Reeder is over at second.
Up next for the Knights, third baseman, left fielder, number 18.
Darian Garrigus, the left fielder, comes to the plate. Garrigus was 1 for 3 in the opener. She homered to lead off the second inning, playing left field again. And there's a pitch in there for a called strike. Runners at second and third with 2 outs here in the top half of the first inning. No score between Bethel and Marian. Marian was a 7-3 winner in game 1, and there's a pitch on the corner for called strike 2. So Najek ahead in the count now, 0-2, trying to avoid any further damage. Pitch on the way, outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count here on Darian Garrigus. Bombi the runner at third, Reeder the runner at second. 1-2 offering on the way by Najek. And it's dead ball. She's going to be hit by the pitch, so that will load the bases for the catcher, Sam Pash. Pash, a senior out of Carmel, Indiana.
Up next for Marian
Pash
University,
did not play
the
in
catcher,
the
number 22,
Pash
Sam
did not play.
Posh.
Pash did not play in the Posh did not play in the opener. She comes in with a .259 batting average, 1 homer and 10 RBIs. There's ball 1 to Posh. Bases loaded, 2 outs here in the top half of the first inning for Marian. No score, but the Knights threatening. And there's Chopper to tough play for the first baseman. And she'll flip it over to Ebersol, 3-4 on the putout to retire the side. In the top half of the first inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, and the Knights leave the maximum. We played a half inning in game 2. It is Marian nothing and Bethel coming to bat. And we will take this opportunity to ask you, do you want to be part of a company that is committed to excellence in their products and services? Alcoa, division of Benel Aluminum, is a producer in aluminum extrusions and anodizing with job opportunities in their expanding production facilities in Elkhart and Niles, Michigan. For more information about wages and benefits, their website is www.alcoa.com, and their phone number is 269-697-1372. Alcoa is a proud supporter of high school and college sports on the Regional Radio Sports Network. And we also want to let you know that Beef O'Brady's in Granger now features Taco Tuesdays. Enjoy 2 tacos, your choice of chicken, steak, or fish with chips and salsa for just $5.99. Also from 4 to 8 p.m. on Tuesday, kids 12 and under can eat free with a paying adult. Located at State Road 23 and Bittersweet Road, Beef's is open for lunch at 11 a.m. 7 days a week. For more information, call 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's, good food, good sports. Matt Copsey back here at Gardner Field as we head into the bottom of this first inning. No score between Marian and the Bethel College Pilots. Taking a look at the defensive setup, it is Darian Garrigus in left, Lainey Horan in center, and Olivia Hoffman in right. Izzy Hoyt at third, Sydney Gherkin at short. You have Maddie Bombi at second, Mary Crumlin at first, and the battery of Sam Pash behind the plate, and Grace Lumpkin on the mound for the Knights. Lumpkin is a junior out of Yorktown, Indiana, Yorktown High School.
Catherine Childers.
She comes into action today with a record of 7-1, a 2.67 ERA. In 42 innings, she's allowed 48 hits, 20 runs, 16 of them earned, 3 walks, and just 3 walks and 19 strikeouts. As Catherine Childers comes to the plate, and there's a pitch for a called strike. Catherine Childers, who was 0 for 3 in the opener. Childers coming into action today was 203 with 6 RBIs. And that's a chopper. It's going to go foul. So Lumpkin quickly ahead in the count now, 0-2. Catherine Childers, Mari Younger, and Hunter Brummett here for the Pilots in the bottom half of the first inning. No score. Marian was a 7-3 winner over the Pilots in the opener. Young Childers, the left-handed hitting right fielder, and there's a pitch outside for a ball, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pilots, as we mentioned, decked out in the white jerseys with the blue numbers, blue stripe, blue socks, blue shoes. And there's a liner right back to the mound. It is caught by Lumpkin for the first down. That will bring up Mari Younger. Mari Younger, the freshman out of Stevensville, Michigan. Childers was a sophomore out of Lakewood Park Christian.
Pilots, number 9, Mari Younger.
Mari Younger in the opener was 1 for 3 with a run scored. There's a pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes to count here on Mari Younger. Younger was at .325 with 3 RBIs coming into action this afternoon. Pitch on the way, that's going to be grounded to the first baseman, and it's going to be throw over, and that's going to be an error. As the first baseman, Crumlin, tried to pick it up, could not do it, so Younger will be safe on the E3, so the Pilots have a base runner. It took them until the 4th inning of the first game to have a base runner.
Hunter Brummett.
So Hunter Brummett will come to the plate now. Brummett was 1 for 3 with an RBI in the opener, the junior out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, Homestead High School. Throws bunt, pulls back for a ball, 1-0. Brummett was at .304 with a homer in 12, now give her 13 RBIs for the season. No score here in the bottom of the first inning, but the Pilots with a base runner with 1 out here. And there's a bunt in front of the plate. That's a dead ball. I think the batter's going to be out. As the ball hit the bat, so it hits the ball twice, so the batter will be out. The runner will return to first. That's 2 outs now here in the bottom half of the first inning as Scott Reese is getting an explanation. What I'm thinking happened is that she dropped the bat, and then the bat hit the ball again, which creates a dead ball situation. So the runner is out. So the batter, is out, and the runner returns to first base.
22, Hannah Haynes.
So that'll bring up Hannah Haynes. Haynes is a freshman out of Milford, Indiana, by way of Wawasee High School. Haynes was 1 for 3 with a run scored in the opener. Strike 1 count, pitch on the way, high for a ball, 1-1 as the sun tries to peek through the clouds here at Gardner Field. Temperatures in the 60s, much better compared to what we've had here in the past. Temperatures in the 30s, 40s. There's a swing and a miss, 1-2, the count now on Hannah Haynes. Mari Younger, the runner at first with 2 outs. No score here in the bottom of the first inning. Lumpkin, there's a pitch outside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner at first for the Pilots. Pilots were a 7-3 loser to Marian in game 1. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss for strike 3. First strikeout of the afternoon for Lumpkin, and that retires the side for the Pilots. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. We will head to inning number 2. Bethel and Marian are scoreless. You're listening and watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
Nothing but top-selling models at Gates of Granger, Michiana's newest, hottest pre-owned sales lot. If you can't tell the difference, why pay the difference? Only you and I know it's used, and I won't tell.
Gates knows. Now you know.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We head into the top half of the second inning. No score. There will be Sydney Gherkin, Mary Crumlin, and Lonnie Horan here to face Rachel Najek, who gave up a hit, left the bases loaded, but avoided further damage. And
Up
Sydney
to bat
Gherkin.
for Marian, number 2, Cindy Gherkin.
Sydney Gherkin did not play in the opener. Gherkin is a sophomore is a freshman, out of North Vernon, Indiana, attending Jennings County High School. Gherkin coming into action today was at 370 with no homers and 1 RBIs, appearing in her 20th game. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count here on the left-handed hitting shortstop. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count here from Rachel Najek. Najek's 1-2 offerings fouled back, 1 and 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bethel will be in action again tomorrow. They will be on the road at Taylor for a doubleheader starting at 3 p.m. Preceding that will be a reserves game at 1. And that's going to be swing and a miss. Foul tip into the glove of Karis Brewer. So that'll be the first strikeout for Rachel Najek, first out of the inning. And that will bring up the first baseman, Mary Crumlin.
Up next for the Knights.
Crumlin.
First baseman, number 19, Mary Crumlin.
Crumlin, a freshman out of New Palestine, Indiana. Crumlin did not play in the opener as well. She comes in, there's a called strike. Crumlin is at 167, appearing in her 15th game. No homers and 1 RBI. Najek's pitch popped up, and that ball is going to drop, and that's going to be a base hit as the ball dropped in between the catcher, Karis Brewer, and the pitcher, Rachel Najek, so the Crumlin is safe with a base hit.
And now bring up number 26, Lainey Horan.
Lainey Horan will come to the plate. Horan in the opener was 0 for 3 with a run scored. No balls and a strike count here on Horan. 1 out, 1 on here for the Knights here in the top half of the second inning. No score. Marian won the opener 7-3. And there's a slap hit foul. So Najek quickly ahead in the count now, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. The count here on the left-handed hitting center fielder, Lainey Horan. Pitch on the way, high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Najek looks in, glances at first, pitch on the way, outside for a ball, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Count here on Lainey Horan, excuse me. Runner Crumlin not going. There's a pitch. There's a slap into left field for a base hit. Stopping at second will be Crumlin. So the Knights, for the second inning in a row, have runners at first and second. This time with 1 out.
Back to the top.
And that will bring up Olivia Hoffman.
Now batting, right fielder number 15, Olivia Hoffman.
Hoffman drew a walk her first time. So the Knights have had base runners. They left 3 in the first. Now they have runners at first and second and nobody out here in the second. And there's a pitch for a called strike to Hoffman, who was batting .450 coming into action today. No homers, 10 RBIs. She had 3 hits and an RBI in the opener, and that's going to be slapped foul. So Najek once again ahead in the count now, 0-2. Back-to-back singles have given the Knights runners at first and second with 1 out here in the second inning of a scoreless game. And there's a slap down the third base side foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Maddie Bombi waiting to hit on deck for the Knights here in the top half of the second inning. 1 out, runners at first and second. Najak's pitch, and that's going to be foul again, slapped down the third base side. No balls, 2 strikes. The count here on Olivia Hoffman. Hoffman, the sophomore out of Indianapolis, Indiana. That one's going to be fair down the third base line. Rounding third and trying to come in to score, and that will be Crumlin, and she does. Stopping at second will be Horan, and it's now 1-0 as Hoffman picks up an RBI single.
Next at bat for the Knights.
So a good piece of hitting
Second
there
baseman
by
number
Hoffman
31, Maddie
as she
Buffet.
finally got one down that third base side. So the Knights have a 1-0 lead here with runners at first and second and 1 out here in the top half of the second inning against Rachel Najek. And there's a pitch high for a ball. One ball, no strikes. Najek's pitch, swing and a miss. 1-1, 1 ball, 1 strikes. Mackenzie Reeder, the designated player, on deck. Knights lead at 1-0 here in the second inning of the second game. Najek's pitch, there's a bunt in front of the plate. That one will roll foul. So it's 1-2. As Bombi trying to use her speed there she had a base hit her first time. Most likely will not be bunting in this situation with 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2, and that's going to be just missed on the corner, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second here in the second inning. A run in, 1-0 Marian. Najek looks in at Brewer. Here comes the pitch, and that's going to be called strike 3 on the corner. Big out. Big second out for Rachel Najek, her second strikeout of the inning. Now bring up Mackenzie Reeder.
For Marian.
Reeder reached on a
Number
fielder's
5,
choicer last
Mackenzie
time.
Reeder.
So if Najek can escape here with just the 1 run, and that's going to be grounded to Orphanitis, she will go the short way to Ebersol to retire the side. But the Knights get on the board. They get 1 run on 3 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base. Middle of inning number 2, Marian leads Bethel 1-0. You're listening and watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Nothing but top-selling models at Gates of Granger, Michiana's newest, hottest pre-owned sales lot. If you can't tell the difference, why pay the difference? Only you and I know it's used, and I won't tell.
Gates knows. Now you know.
Pilots number 5, Hannah Darling.
Hannah Darling will lead off the bottom half of the second inning for the Pilots. Pilots trailing 1-0. First pitch to Darling is outside for a ball. Hannah Darling, the freshman out of Hebron, Kentucky, Conner High School. There's a called strike, 1-1 to the right-handed hitting third baseman. Darling, Ebersol, and Brewer here against the right-hander Grace Lumpkin. And that's chopped in front of the plate, foul, so Lumpkin ahead in the count 1-2. Pilots had a base runner reach on an error in the first inning. That was Mari Younger. She was left there. Knights got their run in the top half of the inning on a RBI single by Olivia Hoffman, scoring Mary Crumlin. And that's going to be a looper to the third baseman. Throw across the diamond will be in time. So a nice play by Hoyt over to Crumlin, 5-3 on the put out. 1 out, and that'll bring up Victoria Ebersol. Ebersol was 1 for 3 with a run scored in the opener.
Second baseman, Victoria Ebersol.
Ebersol, a senior out of Niles, Michigan, attended Brandywine High School and Lake Michigan College. And there's a little slapper to the second baseman, and that ball's going to go off the glove. And I think that's going to be a base hit for Ebersol. As the Ebersol is going to be safe.
Entering the batter's box for Bethel.
So runners at
number 11,
first.
Karis Brewer.
So the second base runner for the Pilots is Karis Brewer, comes to the plate. The freshman from Westview, snap throw down. They've got the runner possibly. Nope, she's back in there. So strike one to Karis Brewer. Brewer in the opener was 0 for 3. There's a bunt attempt pulled back for a strike. She went through 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count here on Karis Brewer with Victoria Ebersol the runner at first, and there's a pitch outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count here. 1 out, 1 on here in the bottom of the second inning. Pitch on the way. There's a chop. That's going to be a tough play. Nobody covered. They go no play. They're going to throw, and they have the runner at second, and she is safe. So the Pilots now. Oh. So Brewer is out for the second out of the inning. And we're going to have a pinch hitter here for Mackenzie Orphanitis.
Number 20, Abby Glass.
Abby Glass is going to hit here for Mackenzie Orphanitis here in the second inning. So a runner at second with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the second inning of a 1-0 Marian lead. And there's a ball. Two outs and a runner at second. Pitch on the way, high. Glass is a freshman out of Warsaw High School, Silver Lake, Indiana. Glass was appearing in her 14th game. She was 4 of 15 for the season. And there's a called strike, 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike to count here on Abby Glass. Ebersol the runner at second, and there's called strike 2. 2-2 the count. Rachel Najek, the pitcher, waits to hit on deck. 2-2 offering on the way, and that's going to be grounded to the second baseman. Picking it up is Bombi, and she will throw across in dime to retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. We played 2 innings. Marian 1, Bethel 0. You're listening and watching to Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We head into the top half of the third inning. 1-0 in favor of Marian. It'll be Izzy Hoyt, Darian Garrigus, and Sam Pash here to face Rachel Najek, who has allowed 1 run on 4 hits through the first 2 innings. Knights got their run in the second inning on a RBI single by Olivia Hoffman, scoring Mary Crumlin. Pilots have had base runners in each of the first 2 innings as a result of errors by the Knights, but Bethel has been unable to get anybody to cross the plate. Marian was a 7-3 winner over Bethel in the opener. As we head into the top half of inning number 3.
University. Third baseman number 20 is E. Hoyt.
Hoyt is a sophomore out of New Palestine, Indiana, and that's high for a ball. In game number 1, Hoyt was the designated player. She was 0 for 3 with 2. She was 1 for 3, with 2 RBIs. And that's going to be chopped in front of the plate. That's going to be a foul ball. One ball, 1 strike to count here on Hoyt. One nothing in favor of Marian here in the top half of the third inning of our second game. Pitch on the way. That's going to be fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Younger in left, Showalter in center, Childers in right, Darling at third. Orphanitis, who re-entered the ball game, is at short. Ebersol at second. Haynes at first in the battery of Karis Brewer behind the plate and Rachel Najek on the mound. 2 balls, 2 strikes now the count here on Izzy Hoyt. Senior right-hander's pitch on the way. High for ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Najek has walked 1 and fanned 2 and hit a batter through 2+ innings. That one's going to be fouled into the first base dugout, caught by Andrew Bowen. Over there taking some, Bethel Sports Information Director taking some pictures over there for the website. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and that's going to be high for ball 4. So the Knights have a leadoff runner on here in the third.
Up next for the Knights, left fielder number 18, Darian Garrigus.
Darian Garrigus will come to the plate. Garrigus was hit by a pitcher first time, the sophomore out of Plainfield. Marian coming into action today there's a pitch on the corner for a called strike, was ranked number 2 in the country. They now stand at 37-2. They are 28-1 in the Crossroads League. That's going to be popped up into right field. Childers will come on. She will squeeze it for the out, so that's 1 out. 1 out here in the third, and that'll bring up Sam Pash.
Entering the
catcher
box for Marian University, the catcher number 22.
Pash grounded
Sam
out
Pash.
to the first baseman. Grounded out to the first baseman. Haynes, her first time, as she fouls this one off, 0-1. Third inning here, 1 out, 1 on, 1-0 in favor of Marian. Marian was a 7-3 winner in game 1. And there's a pitch outside. Nice stop by Brewer, the catcher. 1 ball, 1 strike. Marian will trying to record their 12th straight win, and that pitch is outside for a ball, 2-1. Pilots will be in action, as we mentioned again, tomorrow. They'll be on the road at Taylor for a doubleheader, 3 p.m. Preceding that will be a reserve game at 1 p.m. Pilots will be back here Friday, as it's high for a ball. 3 balls and a strike to count here on Sam Pash for the senior day festivities against Indiana Wesleyan, and then they will be on the road Saturday to close out the regular season at St. Francis. A nice play. It's going to go into right field for a base hit, as I thought Ebersol was going to come up with it, but it got away from her. So
Now
Posh
back
is
for the
aboard.
Knights, number 2.
So runners are at first and second for Sydney Gherkin.
Cindy Gherkin.
Gherkin was a strikeout victim her first time. So runners at first and second with one out here in the third inning for Marian. Marian got a run in the second. They lead at 1-0. We're in the third. There's a bunt. It's going to go foul. No balls and a strike to count here on Gherkin. As the wind picks up a little bit here at Gardner Field. There's another pitch inside. Bunt pulled back. So it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. A ball and a strike to count here on, and there's a pitch in front of the plate. Najek will pick it up and throw it over to Ebersol. 1-4, so that'll be the second out of the inning. Advancing to second and third are Hoyt and Posh. And that'll bring up Mary Crumlin.
First baseman, number 19, Mary Crumlin.
Crumlin had a base hit and scored the lone run to this point in the second inning. So runners are at second and third with 2 outs, and there's a foul dust past the first baseman, Haynes. So it's 0-1. A ball, no balls and a strike. 2 outs, second and third for Marian here in the third inning. Pilots trail 1-0. Najek trying to escape danger. And that's a pitch on the corner for a called strike. So Najek ahead in the count now, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. Pitch on the way outside for a ball, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes to count here on Mary Crumlin. Laney Horan waiting to pitch on deck as time was called by Crumlin. Crumlin, the freshman out of New Palestine. Grounded to short. Ebersol picks it up. Mackenzie Orphanitis picks it up and throws her out. So in the top half of the third inning, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 runners left. The Knights have stranded 7 through the first 3 innings. It remains Marian 1, Bethel nothing. You're listening and watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Did you know that Gates Toyota has over 100 certified pre-owned at one Southside location? Just over the hill from high prices at Gates Toyota. Not just the prettiest dealership in Mishawaka, also the prettiest cars.
Gates knows. Now you know.
Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union. Financial solutions. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We head into the bottom half of the third inning. Marian leads 1-0. Olivia Hoffman's RBI single in the second inning, the difference so far in this game. Knights were a 7-3 winner in game 1. Marian picked up 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and 3 runs in the 6th inning. Marian got 2 runs in the 6th and 1 in the 7th. As we were waiting for Grace Lumpkin to retake the mound here, getting her warm-up tosses going. It will be Rachel Najek, Catherine Childers, and Mari Younger here in the bottom half of the third inning for the Pilots. Garrigus in left, Horan in center, Hoffman in right, Hoyt at third, Gherkin at short, Bombay at second, Crumlin at first, and the battery of Posh behind the plate, and Lumpkin on the mound for the Knights here in game 2. And Rachel Najek coming to the plate here. Najek, as a hitter, is looking for her first hit of the season. She is 0 for 13, but does have an RBI. That's going to be popped up out of play. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here on the former South Bend Clay Colonial. One of 4 seniors who will be honored here on Friday. Elena McElfresh, Rachel Najek, Victoria Ebersol, and Mackenzie Orphanitis as there's a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Najek. Pitch on the way, and that's outside 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch on the way. That's going to be grounded off the glove of the third baseman, and that's going to be rolling to left field. So the Pilots, for the 3rd inning in a row, have a base runner. And I think we're going to have a runner here. I would imagine that Marilyn Showalter will most likely come in to run here.
Pilots now batting number 3, right fielder, Catherine Childers.
Nope. Our runner here is going to be Morgan Bales will come in to run here for Najek, so the Pilots have the tying run at first base with nobody out here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. As Morgan Bales. So the Pilots with their first hit of the afternoon. So Rachel Najek picks up her first hit of the season. And Catherine Childers shows bunt. Pulls back for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 ball, no strikes to count here. Morgan Bales the runner, and there's a pitch on the corner for a called strike. Evens up the count at 1-1. Bales running for Rachel Najek, who led off the inning with an infield single. Pilots trail 1-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd, but the tying run at first. Shows bunt in front of the plate. Good bunt picked up by the catcher. Throw will go over the head of the first baseman and going to 3rd. And they're going to try to send her in. Here comes the play at the plate, and she will score. As a throwing error has tied the ball game. It's a 1-1 game now.
Now batting for the Pilots, number 9, Mari Younger.
And Mari Younger now will come to the plate. So that'll be the 3rd error. So that'll be a sacrifice. So the error has allowed the game to tie. 3rd error of the inning. Of the game, excuse me, and there's a pitch 1-1 to Younger, so we're tied at 1. So the go-ahead run is at second, and there's a chopper to the second base, and they'll get the runner to 3rd. So Childers is over at 3rd now with 1 out. And that'll bring up Hunter Brummett. Brummett was called out
now at bat
her first time at bat as the ball hit the bat in as the ball hit the bat in fair territory. So the Pilots with a chance to take the lead for the first time today, now with a runner at 3rd with only 1 out and a 1-1 tie. 1 ball to count here to Brummett. Childers the runner at 3rd. Outside. 1-2 oh no. 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch on the way from Lumpkin. And that's going to be on the corner for a called strike, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to count here on Hunter Brummett. Catherine Childers, the runner at 3rd with 1 out. We're tied at 1 here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. And that's outside for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike the count now. Here on Hunter Brummett with Hannah Haynes waiting to hit on deck. Lumpkin's 3-1 offering. That's going to be grounded into left field for a base hit, and the Pilots have the lead 2-1. So the Pilots, for the first time today, own the lead as Hunter Brummett picks up the RBI. Scoring is Catherine Childers. Now we're going to have Marilyn Showalter will come in to run here for Brummett. As the Pilots have a 2-1 lead now on the number 2 team in the country. Pilots with their 3rd hit of the inning. 3rd hit of the inning. As of now, the 2nd run is unearned, depending on what happens in the rest of the inning. 1 out, 1 on, as there's a pitch to Haynes, who was a strikeout victim her first time. Strike 1. 2-1 Bethel here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. 0-2 to Haynes. Hannah Darling hoping to get a chance to swing the bat here. Pitch on the way, outside, 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes to count here on Hannah Haynes. We're in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Bethel leading number 2 Marian by the count of 2-1. Pitch on the way, outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count here. Showalter the runner at first with 1 out. Pitch on the way, fouled. Back this way. Count will remain 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Two offering on the way, outside for ball 3. So it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. A little bit of activity starting to stir down in the Marian bullpen. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way, inside for ball 4. So the Pilots have runners at 1st and 2nd now with 1 out for Hannah Darling. Darling grounded out to 3rd her first time. So the Pilots trailing 1-0 enter the inning, now have a 2-1 lead and have runners at 1st and 2nd with 1 out. For Hannah Darling, the freshman out of Kentucky. Pitch on the way from Lumpkin. Called strike. One ball, no strikes. And that's going to be chop foul, picked up in the on-deck circle by Victoria Ebersol. So Lumpkin ahead in the count now, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Runners at 1st and 2nd, 1 out, 2 runs in. Pilots lead at 2-1. And that's going to be grounded to 3rd. The play will go to 1st. Nice play by the 3rd baseman Hoyt. She had the play in front of her, but she went ahead and got the out at 1st. So runners are at 2nd and 3rd now with 2 outs.
Up next.
And that'll bring up Victoria Ebersol.
21, 2nd baseman Victoria Ebersol.
Ebersol reached on an error her first time. Key juncture in the ball game right here. Pilots lead at 2-1, but have a chance to add more if Ebersol can come through. Called strike. You don't get many opportunities on the number 2 team in the country to make something happen. Pilots have scored twice here and have 2nd and 3rd and a chance to get more. And there's a pitch high, 1-1 to Ebersol. the senior from Niles, Michigan, attended Brandywine High School, Lake Michigan College, one of 4 seniors on the ball club. And there's a swing and a foul. So Ebersol now behind in the count 1-2. Showalter the runner at third, Haynes the runner at second, 2 outs. 1-2 pitch here to Ebersol. And that's going to be called strike 3 on the corner. So Lumpkin comes back in it, but the Pilots pick up 2 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 error and 2 runners left on base. We will head to the 4th inning. Bethel leads Marian by the count of 2-1. You're listening and watching to Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field as we head into the top half of the 4th inning. Bethel leading number 2 Marian by the count of 2-1. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Bethel. 1 run, 5 hits, 3 errors for Marian. As we head in, it'll be Lainey Horan, Olivia Hoffman, and Maddie Bombi here to face Rachel Najek here in the top half of the 4th inning. Marian was a 7-3 winner in game 1.
Marian University, the center fielder, number 26, Lainey Horan.
Horan got a base hit her first time. As it looks like we're going to have a couple of changes here for the Knights here in the inning, as we will get them as we go along. Horan, the sophomore out of Indianapolis, Indiana, attended Franklin Central High School, and that's ball 1. Rachel Najek pitching with a 1-run lead now against the number 2 team in the country. The big key for her is you got to get that first out. And that's going to be slap foul, 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike the count here on Horan. One and 1 the count. Pitch on the way, high for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike the count here on Horan. 2-1 Bethel here in the top half of the 4th inning. Pitch on the way, that's going to be grounded to the shortstop. Orphanitis picks it up and throws her out. 1 out. Big out here to start the 4th inning. Now bring up Olivia Hoffman. Hoffman walked in the first and singled and drove in the lone.
Right fielder number 15, Olivia Hoffman.
Hoffman drove in the lone Marian run in the 2nd inning. We are in the 4th. Bases empty with 1 out. Pitch by Najek on the corner for a called strike. 0-1 the count here. Pitch on the way from Najek. That's going to be lined into left field. That ball will drop foul. So 0-2 the count now on Hoffman. And it looks like Cassidy Cadle is in the on-deck circle. And will hit for Bombi. So it looks like Coach Fleming is going to start inserting. That's going to be a ground ball picked up by Darling. Throw across in time. 2 outs here in the top half of the 4th inning. And that will bring up Cadle, who will pinch hit here for Bombi and most likely go to second base. Cadle in game number 1 was 1 for 4 with a run scored. Bases empty, 2 outs. Popped up on the infield. The catcher, Brewer, will make the catch to retire the side. 1-2-3 nothing across. 5 in a row now retired by Rachel Najek. We head to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Bethel leads Marian 2-1. You're listening and watching to Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Nothing but top-selling models at Gates of Granger, Michiana's newest, hottest pre-owned sales lot. If you can't tell the difference, why pay the difference? Only you and I know it's used, and I won't tell.
Gates knows. Now you know.
Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union, financial solutions. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Back here at Gardner Field. So we have some changes now. Mackenzie Reeder has come into the ball game to play first base. And coming into the ball game is Katie Hewitt. Katie Hewitt has come in to be the designated player into the and we also have another change in that Jelly McKibben has come into the ball game to play shortstop.
Up to bat for your Bethel College Pilots, the catcher, number 11, Karis Brewer.
So Karis Brewer will lead it off as Coach Fleming has put most of his starters back in the ball game here as Bethel leads it 2-1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Karis Brewer grounded out to second her first time. That's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Two balls, no strikes to count here, and there's called strike to Brewer, 2-1. Cadle stays in the ball game to play second base. That's going to be grounded to third, picked up by Hoyt, and then she will retire. So that's the first out here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, and this will bring up Mackenzie Orphanitis. Orphanitis will bat for the first time today as she was lifted for a pinch hitter her first time.
Up to bat for BC, number 7.
Orphanitis in game 1 was 0 for 3. The senior out of Buchanan, Michigan. 1 out, 1 on. There's a called strike. 1 out, nobody on here in the bottom half of the 4th. Bethel leads Marian 2-1. Pitch on the way, and that's lifted in. That's a base hit, fair ball on the line, so Orphanitis is on. So a 1 out single here to start the bottom of here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Pilots with their 4th hit, and now bring up Rachel Najek. 2-1 Bethel here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Now batting for the Pilots, number 23, Rachel Najek.
Najek had a base hit her first time. There's a bunt. It's going to be fouled back. I've never seen it, but I wanted to. 2-1 Bethel. Here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, there's a strike called, so it's 0-2 now, the count on Najek. Oh, 2 offering on the way. That's what we called strike 3, and Najek knew it. Strikeout number 3 on the afternoon for Lumpkin.
Up to bat for the
2
Pilots,
outs now, and that'll bring up Catherine
number 3,
Childers.
right fielder, Catherine Childers.
There's a slap foul. Childers singled and scored her last time. 2-1 Bethel with a runner at first and 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Pitch on the way. 1-1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch on the way. That's going to be grounded to the third baseman. Hoyt picks it up, throws across in time to retire the side. In the bottom half of the 4th inning for the Pilots, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We will head to the 5th. Bethel leads number 2 Marian 2-1. You're listening and watching to Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Do you want to be part of a company that is committed to excellence in their products and services? ACOA, a division of Benell Aluminum, is a producer in aluminum extrusions and anodizing with job opportunities in their expanding production facilities in Elkhart and Niles, Michigan. For information about wages and benefits, their website is www.acoa.com and their phone number is 269-697-1372. ACOA is a proud supporter of high school and college sports on the Regional Radio Sports Network. We head to the top of the 5th inning, Bethel leading Marian by the count of 2-1. Due up for the Knights here in the 5th inning, it will be Mackenzie Reeder, Izzy Hoyt, and Darian Garrigus here to face Rachel Najak. The Knights got their lone run in the 2nd inning on a base hit by Olivia Hoffman, scoring Mary Crumlin. Najak has retired 5 in a row since giving up a 1-out single to Sam Posh in the 3rd inning. She retired the Knights in order for the first time this afternoon back in the 4th. Now she will go through the heart of the order here with the Pilots leading 2-1. Key inning here.
Up to bat for Marian University, the designated player, number 5, Mackenzie Reeder.
Reeder now at first base in the ball game. And there's a called strike from Rachel Najak. Najak on the way. There's a pitch low. 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. Pitch on the way, low for a ball, 2-1. That's going to be grounded to Sharp. Tough play for Orphanitis, and she will not be in time. That'll be a base hit for Reeder. So the Knights have the tying run at first with nobody out here in the 5th inning.
For the Knights, third baseman number 20, Izzy Hoyt.
Izzy Hoyt, who walked her last time and flew out to right field her first time. Tying run at first, nobody out here in the 5th. That's going to be popped up into right field. Drifting back on it is Childers. She will make the catch for the out. Back to first base is Reeder. So big out here in the top half of the 5th inning. That'll bring up Darian Garrigus. Garrigus is 0 for 1. She was hit by a pitch in the 1st and then flew out to Childers in the 3rd inning. Garrigus hit a home run back in the 1st game. In the 2nd inning, Hoyt and Garrigus hit back-to-back homers to make it 4-0. Sadie Baugh. That's going to be popped up on the infield. Third baseman Darling will make the catch for the 2nd out. So there are 2 outs now and a runner at first here in the 5th. And that'll bring up Sam Posh, the catcher.
Now batting for Marian University, the catcher, number 22, Sam Posh.
Posh is 1 for 2, grounded to first her first time, and then had a base hit in the third. And that's going to be popped up on the infield. Darling's going to make the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Middle of the 5th, the score remains Bethel 2, Marian 1. You're listening and watching to Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
There's always a moment of truth where I say, look, it's either put up or shut up. And it was time to put up. I had crossed that thin line. It was 100+ degrees. We were hot. We were on fire. We were yelling our hearts out. You could feel the intensity rising. Even in our tiredness, even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I told myself, you can suck up the pain for another 1.5 miles, and you will be a Marine. Not many people believe that I could do it. I don't know where I got the energy from. I don't know where the pain went to. But all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We head into the bottom of the 5th inning. Bethel leading number 2 Marian by the count of 2-1. Mari Younger, Hunter Brumman, and Hannah Haynes here to face the right-hander Grace Lumpkin. She's allowed 2 runs, only 1 of them run, and there's a ground ball to second picked up by Cadle, and she will throw her out. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 5th inning. 1 pitch, 1 out. That'll bring a Hunter Brumman. Brumman had an RBI single to give the Pilots the 2-1 lead.
Number 27, Hunter Brumman.
Two to 1 Bethel here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. That's going to be grounded ball, second baseman. 2 pitches, 2 outs as Cadle. And that'll bring up Hannah Haynes. Haynes drew a walker last time. Quickly, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Pilots lead at 2-1.
Next up for BC, number 22, first baseman Hannah Haynes.
And there's a pitch low for a ball to Haynes. Haynes is 0 for 1. Strikeout victim in the first, drew a walk in the third. Base is empty. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. That's going to be line foul, so a ball and a strike. The count here on Hannah Haynes. Bethel 2, number 2 Marian 1 here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. No activity in the Bethel bullpen. And that's pitch for a ball, 2-1. The Knights in the 6th inning will have Jelly McKibben, Kate Hewitt, and Lanny Horn. There's a ground ball to short. McKibben will pick it up and throw it out. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. We head to the 6th. Bethel still leads 2-1. You're listening and watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Jelly McKibben will lead off the top half of the 6th inning for the Marian Knights. McKibben, Hewitt, and Horan here as the Pilots lead it 2-1. That's going to be grounded foul. Najek has retired 8 of the last 9 batters she's faced. She gave up a leadoff hit to Reeder in the 5th and then got the next 3. She retired the order in the 4th and got the last 2. That's going to be line foul and quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. Najek has allowed a run on 6 hits. She has walked 2 and struck out 2. 0-2 the count here. Pitch on the way, outside for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The count here on McKibben. McKibben in the opener was 3 for 4. Popped up third base side. Darling will give it a look but run out of room. McKibben was 3 for 4 in the opener with a run scored. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Najek's pitch, high, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Bethel leading number 2 Marian by the count of 2-1. Pitch on the way, popped up. Coming in, second baseman Ebersol. She will make the catch in short right field. 1 out here in the 6th. And Katie Hewitt will come on to bat now.
Now batting
Hewitt, a sophomore out of
number 16, Katie Hewitt.
Out of Greencastle, Indiana, attended South Putnam High School. Hewitt was 0 for 3 in the opener. Hewitt, the designated player. And there's a pitch high for a ball. 5 outs to go for Najek. Pilots trying for one of the biggest wins in the Scott Reese era. There's ground ball to third. Darling picks it up, throw across the diamond, 2 outs. 2 outs here in the 6th, and now bring up Lanny Horan. Horan is 1 for 2.
Up to bat for the Knights, center fielder number 26, Laney Huron.
Laney Horan. Pitch on the way. There's ground ball to second base. Ebersol, 3 up, 3 down. 3 outs away. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Bethel 2, Marian 1. You're listening and watching to Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Did you know that Gates Toyota has over 100 certified pre-owned at one Southside location? Just over the hill from high prices at Gates Toyota. Not just the prettiest dealership in Mishawaka, also the prettiest cars.
Gates knows. Now you know.
Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union, financial solutions. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We head into the bottom of the 6th inning. Bethel leads number 2 Marian by the count of 2-1. It'll be Hannah Darling, Victoria Ebersol, and Karis Brewer here to face Grace Lumpkin. There's going to pitch lined into left field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. It's going to skip away, heading on over to second, and the play will be standing in. So Darling will get a base hit, and she'll go to second on the East 7. So the Pilots have an insurance run in scoring position with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Victoria Ebersol, she's reached on an errand, was called out on strikes. The Knights will have the top of the order up in the 7th against Rachel Najek, Olivia Hoffman, Cassidy Cadle, and Mackenzie Reeder. The Pilots 3 outs away from probably one of the biggest wins in the Scott Reese era, and probably one of the biggest wins in the last 5 years. There's a ground ball. They're going to flip to first. 3-4 on the out, and over to third is Hannah Darling. So the Pilots with a big insurance run at third base with just
Now
one out
bat
for
number
Karis
11.
Brewer.
Catcher, Karis Brewer.
2-1 Bethel here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Runner at third with one out, and there's a pitch for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. The Knights have been guilty of 4 errors in this ball game. Pitch, low, ooh, called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count here on Karis Brewer. Mackenzie Orphanitis waiting to hit on deck. Pitch on the way, ground ball. They're going to come home. No, they're going to come home, and she will be out. The hesitation by the second baseman, Cadle. They come home, and Darling is going to be out at the plate on the fielder's choice. That will go 4-2 for the second out of the inning. So Brewer is safe on the fielder's choice as the second baseman, Cadle, came home, and the throw to the catcher, Posh, and they're going to rule that she was out as
Next up for the Bethel
Coach Scott
College
Reese
Pilots,
gets a
Number
little bit of
7,
a explanation from the
Orphanitis.
umpire, seems satisfied and goes back to the plate. So there are 2 outs and a runner at first now for Mackenzie Orphanitis. 2-1 Bethel here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch on the way, called strike to Orphanitis. Orphanitis had a base hitter last time, 1 for 1. 2-1 Bethel here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pitch on the way, fouled away, 0-2. As we mentioned earlier, the Knights will have the top of the batting order up in their top half of the 7th inning against Rachel Najek. Elena McElfresh is warming up in the bullpen. Pitch on the way, ground ball right back to the mound. Lumpkin will throw to first to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. We head to the 7th. Pilots need 3 outs for a huge upset. They lead number 2 Marian by the count of 2-1. You're listening and watching to Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
There's always a moment of truth where I say, look, it's either put up or shut up. And it was time to put up. I had crossed that thin line. It was 100+ degrees. We were hot. We were on fire. We were yelling our hearts out. You could feel the intensity rising. Even in our tiredness, even in our weakness, even in our pain, we continued to push. I told myself, you can suck up the pain for another 1.5 miles, and you will be a Marine. Not many people believe that I could do it. I don't know where I got the energy from. I don't know where the pain went to. But all I know is that I had what it took. I am a United States Marine.
PFC Darrell Willis serves his country as a Marine. Will you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field. We head into the top of the 7th inning. Bethel leading number 2 Marian by the count of 2-1.
Back to the top for
It'll be
Marian
Olivia
University.
Hoffman, Cassidy
Now batting
Cadle,
right
and
fielder
Mackenzie
number
Reeder to
15,
face Rachel
Olivia
Najek.
Hoffman.
Najek has retired 6 in a row. She's retired 12 of the last 13 batters she's faced since the 3rd inning. Pitch ball 1. She gave up a base hit to Reeder to start the 5th and has retired 6 in a row since then. 1-0 count. On the corner for a called strike, 1-1. Pilots 3 outs away from a huge victory here. Pitch on the way. Fouled away, 1-2. Might sound like a broken record, but getting that leadoff batter is huge, especially in the 7th inning of a 1-run game. Hoffman is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Pitch on the way, high for a ball 2. Najek has walked 2, struck out 2. She's allowed 6 hits, 1 run to this point, and that run is earned. Pitch on the way, popped up out of play. Count remains 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, nobody out in the top of the 7th inning. Pitch on the way, ground ball to third. Darling has it, 1 out. 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning for Cassidy Cadle.
Number 12, Cassidy Cadle.
Cadle popped up to Brewer her last time. 1 out here in the 7th inning. Najek's pitch, popped up to center field. Showalter's there, 2 outs. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Mackenzie Reeder, 8 in a row retired by
designated player number 5, Mackenzie Reeder.
Reeder is 1 for 3 in the ball game. She had a base hitter last time. Najek's pitch on the way, fouled away. No balls and 1 strike. Bases empty, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Bethel leads number 2 Marian by the count of 2-1. Pitch on the way. Low for a ball, it's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike the count here on Mackenzie Reeder. Rachel Najek in the windup, 1-1 pitch. Popped up to center field. Showalter drifts back. She's got it in the Pilots with a 2-1 upset of number 2 Marian. Rachel Najek goes the distance. In the top of the 7th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Final in game 2, Bethel 2, number 2 Marian 1. We'll be back to recap the ball game. You're listening and watching Bethel College Softball here on the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Nothing but top-selling models at Gates of Granger, Michiana's newest, hottest pre-owned sales lot. If you can't tell the difference, why pay the difference? Only you and I know it's used, and I won't tell.
Gates knows. Now you know.
They say growth is a journey and not a destination. At Teachers Credit Union, we agree. Helping our communities grow has been our mission ever since we began our journey in 1931. And supporting our members' growth has helped us to become Indiana's largest credit union. And we're just getting started. Whatever you want to grow, Teachers Credit Union is ready to help. Visit a branch or tcunet.com today. Teachers Credit Union deposits are federally insured by the NCUA, and we are an equal housing opportunity.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Centier Bank is Indiana's largest private family-owned bank. Since 1895, the Schrag family has built a legacy of success through business and by servicing the communities of northern and central Indiana. Centier's not-for-sale promise pledges to the communities we serve that we will continue to preserve independent banking in Indiana for generations to come. Centier Bank is proud to serve the communities of northern and central Indiana. Please visit Centier.com for more information, and don't forget to like us on Facebook, member FDIC.
Welcome back here to Gardner Field, where the Bethel College Pilots have upset the number 2 team in the country, Marian, by the count of 2-1. For Bethel, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. They left 6 runners on base. For Marian, 1 run, 6 hits, 4 errors. The Knights left 8 runners on base. The winning pitcher was Rachel Najek. She went the distance. She improves to 1-12. She allowed 1 run on just 6 hits. She struck out 2, walked 2. She retired the final 9 batters she faced, and she retired 14 of the last 15 batters she faced in the ball game, going back to the 3rd inning. Marian had chances. They left the bases loaded in the 1st inning. They left 2 runners on in the 2nd inning when they scored their run on a base hit by Olivia Hoffman, scoring Mary Crumlin. They left 2 runners on in the 3rd base, and then after that, Rachel Najek settled down to pick up her victory of the season. The losing pitcher is Grace Lumpkin, who drops to 7-2. She goes 6 innings, allows a run on 5 hits. She fanned 2 and walked no one, and she walked 1 in the ball game. So the Pilots pick up a big victory. They improve to 5-33, 4-26 in conference play. Marian drops to 37-3 and 28-2, and just what a huge win for Scott Reese's ball club. They came back with a 6-run inning against Goshen on Saturday to win 11-6 after dropping the opener 6-3. They were down 7-0 in this ball game, came back, got 2 runs in the 6th inning, 1 in the 7th, and then carried it over to a 2-1 victory here in the nightcap. Just a tremendous victory for Scott Reese and the program to what they came up with and whatever. We're going to recap the scoring in Game 1. Marian was a 7-3 winner in Game 1, 7 runs, 13 hits, 1 error. Marian left 7 runners on base. Bethel 3-5-3. They left 3 runners on base. Marian got 2 runs in the 1st inning. They got 2 runs in the 2nd inning. They got 3 runs in the 6th. Bethel with 2 runs in the 6th and 1 in the 7th of the nightcap. The winning pitcher was Shelby Heron in the 1st game, and the loser was Bethany Hogue in the nightcap. Time of the 1st game was 1 hour and 28 minutes. Time of the 2nd ball game was 1 hour and 22 minutes. Just a tremendous effort by the Bethel College Pilots today. As I talked to Scott Reese in the pregame show, I told him, I said, you guys have nothing to lose in this ball game. They came up huge. Even though they lost the 1st ball game, they came back. They scored 3 runs in their last 2 at bats, and then the job that Rachel Najek did today in the 2nd ball game, got out of a bases loaded jam in the 1st inning, allowed just 1 run in the 2nd inning, and then they had runners at 2nd and 3rd in the 3rd inning of the ball game, and they came up big with the run as well. And to come away with the victory, that's just huge in the way you say it and whatever. So once again, 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, 6 runners left on base, 1 run, 6 hits, 4 errors for Marian in the 2nd game. They left 8 runners on base. Rachel Najek was the winner, and the losing pitcher was Grace Lumpkin, and we are hoping to be joined momentarily by Scott Reese, and he's going to be coming up here with Rachel Najek, and we're going to join Scott Reese here first. And Coach, congratulations.
They played a great ball game, didn't they?
I thought both teams, with the, they made some mistakes that you were able to, but I thought that your kids probably played their best game of the year all around. I haven't seen you play all year, but just from from the way you guys played from start to finish, and I thought it would carry over from the way you guys ended the 1st game, and you guys were able to continue that in the 2nd game. And I thought the key was the 1st inning when Rachel got into a little bit of trouble. They loaded the bases and she didn't give up anything.
Right.
And then she gives up just the 1 run in the 1st inning, 2nd inning, and then she got out of the 3rd inning, and it just seemed like after that she was in a groove.
Yeah, and we talked about it in between games. We talked about how we had momentum. Look at the scoreboard. We scored in the last 2 innings. They came in here with 18, 19 straight scoreless innings under their belt, and we came in here and scored 2 in a row on them. So now use that momentum and keep going. And I mean, obviously Marian's a great ball club. I don't know what's more fun, winning with 15 hits on Saturday, or coming out and beating the number 2 team in the nation. I mean, that's awful fun right there in a 2-1 game.
Well, obviously, this has to be something that you've kept harping to your ball club about, is that if you stay the course, you play, you get all 3 phases. This was the ball game where you had all 3 phases working for you.
Yeah, everything was on, and again, even if you don't get double-digit hits, look at the keys to how we scored those runs. You know, we got runners on, and Mari gives up an at-bat by hitting the ball to the right side to move people over. You know, that's fantastic. And then we get the hit that scores the run, and we get a crooked number up in that inning. Catherine gets a great bunt down, and we force an error on top of it and get runners in scoring position, and we had no more chances too. But again, I was just thrilled with the way that they kind of put everything together, played great defense. Rachel was getting those fly balls that we needed, you know, and our outfielders were making the plays on them.
Well, let's give the headset over to Rachel. Scott, stick around because we'll give it. Rachel, congratulations. Just talk about what you had out there. You seemingly, as the game went on, you seemingly got a lot stronger.
I was just, the whole time I was thinking that I have nothing to lose and they have everything to lose. And so I just gave it my all the entire time, and I made every pitch matter no matter what.
The one difference today, and I've seen you pitch on a number of occasions, you've had great outings where you've gotten off to great starts, and then something in the field happens, a play, and it just seems things kind of get away from you. But today, everything just seemingly was clicking for you, and it seemed as the game went on, you got that more and more confidence out there.
Yeah, definitely. The defense was working so hard. I mean, I only had 2 strikeouts, so everything else was on them. They did all the work really out there.
Well, what were you doing to keep it seemingly you had them off balance for the better part of the ball game. How were you mixing up your pitches?
That was something Coach and I talked about before the game started, was that, you know, we needed to keep them off balance, not necessarily throwing a lot of change-ups, but just moving it in and out, maybe throwing in a fastball here and there, which I don't typically throw very often. So that was just kind of what I did to keep them off balance. Hunter called a great game, so.
Well, I know it's been a frustrating career for you, but this is, as it's coming to an end, this has to be a great way for you to remember something as you go along. I know there's still some games to go, but this has to be the highlight of your career.
Oh, 100%. It's a cherry on top. I mean, we haven't beat Marian since conference tournament with Natalie Newell playing, and I'm so pumped that I got that next one, you know.
Well, now it's, and Coach and I have talked about it, now it's trying to keep that momentum up. You guys picked up some momentum Saturday. You know, you picked up some momentum toward the end of that first game, and now you have it going into the rest of the games this week.
100%. I think this is exactly what we need going into Taylor and Indiana Wesleyan this week.
Well, Rachel, congratulations once again, and good luck to you the rest. We'll definitely see you on Friday for Senior Day.
All right, thank you.
That is Rachel Najek joining us on the post-game show. We're going to have Scott Reese, and then we'll get Scott out of here. Scott, you'll probably stay here all night now, won't you?
I'm not leaving this building. Are you kidding me?
Scott, I just thought that your kids, this is what the thing is. Obviously, this is your signature win for you since you've come here. I know you've had great wins over your career when you were over at Ancilla and anything, but the thing is that this is what you've been preaching to these kids since day one, that if you keep the head in the ballgame, and the thing was you kept the pressure on them for the most part all day.
Well, and it's every single kid on this team, and we also talked about that at the end of the game. Every single one of those 22 young ladies had something to do with this ball game. Our dugout was on top of everything that was going on. You know, Hannah Darling played a great game at third base. Kins comes up with a big hit that, you know, she's been struggling, and hopefully she's going to break out with that one. And sometimes it takes a duck snort to do that, you know. And Marilyn and Catherine make the plays that were routine plays for the most part, but sometimes we've been having a hard time with those routine plays. And so, you know, just again, gaining that confidence and believing in what you can do, and you never know what's going to happen from day to day. So you just take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you, and you just keep going and fighting.
Well, I thought in the first game, it seemed like Bethany really struggled early on, but I thought when Elena came in, she gave you she basically saved your bullpen.
Right.
And she did a great job. I thought maybe as the game went on, she just kind of maybe ran out of gas a little bit there as the game went on. And
well, and really, I mean, she gave up the 3 runs, but only 2 are earned.
Yes.
Because of the air, and I didn't think it was really a bad inning. It was because of walks. You know, she got herself in trouble leading off the inning with a walk, I believe, or something close to that. And, you know, but other than that, she did a fantastic job. She was first relief for this one, you know. And, Rachel was going strong, and I did not want to go that route because of the way Rachel was going. I wanted her to get this one.
Well,
as a senior.
I think you heard me ask her. It seemed like, she's had outings like this before where she's been dominant at times, and then it's like something happens where if it's a walk or if it's a air or a base hit and things just kind of snowball. That didn't happen today.
Right.
In that 5th inning, she gave up the leadoff hit to the Reader girl, but then she came back and she kept pounding them on the inside and gotten them to pop it up, and, she kept the pressure on him, and like you said, your defense came up big, and you got enough hitting when you needed it.
Yeah, and we got just what we needed, and that was fine. I'll take one crooked number, and in a game like that, that's what's going to happen when you play good teams, and that's what we've got to do to get to that level, on a consistent basis. I think we could, this is the 2nd-ranked team we've beaten this year. We have 5 wins, and 2 of them are against ranked teams. And that's what I keep preaching is, you're good enough to win every single game you play, but you got to put everything together.
Well, I think, Scott, I know it's toward the end of the season, but I think this can go a long way toward the underclassmen.
Yes.
Toward the rest of this year and going into next year, that if they keep their heads in the game and they play with the intensity that they showed today, that anything is possible.
Absolutely, and I hope it does, and I hope it carries throughout even the last week we've got here, and we can see what we can do with it.
Well, you're going on the road tomorrow,
yeah,
and that's the good thing now is that you got a chance to play tomorrow. You got a chance to build off this. You just got to keep that momentum going and, heading into the rest of the week.
Absolutely. Thanks, Matt.
Well, Scott, congratulations. We'll see you Friday for Senior Day.
All right. Sounds good.
That is Scott Reese joining us here on the post-game show here for as Bethel comes away with a 2-1 victory over Marian in the 2nd game of our doubleheader. So, once again, the Pilots improved to 5-33. They are now 4-26 in Crossroads League. Marian drops to 37-3. They are 28-2. So once again, your final scores in Game 1, it was Marian 7, Bethel 3. And in the nightcap, Bethel upsets number 2 Marian by the count of 2-1 behind the pitching of Rachel Najak. Pilots 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors. They left 6 on base, 1, 6, and 4 for Marian. They left 8. The winner was Rachel Najak. The loser was Grace Lumpkin. Time of the ball game was 1 hour and 22 minutes. So that's going to do it for our coverage of Bethel College softball this afternoon. Our next telecast and broadcast of Bethel College softball will be this coming Friday for Senior Day festivities here at Gardner Field when the Bethel College Pilots take on number 11, Indiana Wesleyan. So once again, my name is Matt Copsey saying your final scores in Game 1, Marian 7, Bethel 3, and in Game 2, Bethel 2, Marian 1. So until Friday, this is Matt Copsey saying good night and enjoy the rest of your day.